In this video, we're going to study the notion of one-sided limits. If you remember in the previous video, I told you that if we're very close to a point, let's say 1, well, we have two options. We're either to the left of 1 or to the right of 1. Sometimes the limit of a function will not exist, but for values that are very close to 1 but less than 1, we'll see that our function gets very close to a number. And again, for values that are very close to, let's say, 1, but not 1, and are also bigger than 1, then we're going to get very close to a number. So that's what we're going to study in this video. So we're going to consider this function. It's a function defined piecewise, and it's going to be x squared if x is less than or equal to 0, and x minus 1 if x is strictly greater than 0. And here we have the graph of the function. So it looks like a parabola for values that are less than or equal to 0, and then we have a straight line. Okay, so if we try to find the limit as x approaches 0 here, we would have problems, because my function f is not approaching a single value, a particular value, when x gets close to 0. Here, if we see if x is very, very close to 0 but less than 0, we're getting very, very close to 0. But if x is very close to 0 but greater than 0, then f of x is getting very close to 1. So there is not a single value that my function is approaching to. Okay, but then what we can do is we can study what happens to the left of 0 and to the right of 0. So we said that the limit doesn't exist, but when we focus now only on the left or the right hand side of the picture, things become a lot better. Because, as I said, if x is very close to 0 with x positive, then f of x is very close to 1. So we said that the limit as x approaches to 0 from the right of g of x is equal to 1. And the same thing, if we're very close to 0 with x strictly negative, f of x is going to be very close to 0. So the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of g of x is equal to 0. And that is the idea of the one-sided limits.